They didn't yell. They didn't slam a door. They didn't say anything cruel. They just went quiet, and something inside you immediately broke open. You check your phone. Nothing. You replayed the last conversation word by word, searching for the moment. You must have ruined everything. You started drafting an apology, then deleted it, then started again. And the worst part wasn't the silence itself. The worst part was watching yourself fall apart over something that, to anyone else, would seem like absolutely nothing. You know you're overreacting. You can see it. And you still can't stop. This video is about why that happens. And I promise you, it is not because you're too sensitive. It's because your nervous system learned something a long time ago. Something it's been protecting you from ever since. Picture this. You send a message to someone you care about, someone you love. Could be a partner, a close friend, a family member. Normally, they respond quickly. But this time, nothing. An hour passes. Then, two. You see, they've been online. The message was delivered. Maybe even read. And here's where it gets interesting. A person with a secure nervous system might think they're probably busy. And then they move on. They pour a cup of coffee. They forget about it until the reply comes. But for you, and I'm guessing for a lot of you watching this, that's not what happens. Instead, your brain does something else entirely. It starts scanning, not for logic, for danger. Did I say something wrong? Are they angry? Did I ask for too much? Am I too much? Is this the beginning of the end? The silence fills with meaning, and none of the meanings are good. Here's what's actually happening inside your body when someone you love goes quiet. Your nervous system has one job above all others: keep you safe. Ah, and it learned how to do that job very early in your life before you had words for any of it. When we're children, emotional connection isn't just comforting, it's survival. A child who is invisible to their caregiver emotionally, not just physically, is a child in genuine danger. The absence of a response, of warmth, of acknowledgement, is not neutral to a child's brain. It registers as threat. So the brain does what it's built to do. It creates a pattern. It learns silence means danger. Withdrawal means abandonment. The non-responding means I did something wrong. And if I did something wrong, I might lose the person I depend on to survive. Now, here's the part that changes everything. You grew up, but that pattern didn't disappear. It got wired in. There's a term in psychology called hypervigilance, and most people associate it with soldiers returning from war, people scanning rooms for exits, flinching at loud sounds. But there's another kind of hypervigilance, maybe a quieter, more intimate kind. It's called emotional hypervigilance, and it lives in people who learned early on that other people's moods were unpredictable and that those moods had consequences for them. Maybe you grew up with a parent whose silence meant they were angry, and you wouldn't know why. Maybe you learned that when someone went quiet, it meant something was wrong, and that it was probably your fault. Maybe withdrawal was used as punishment, or maybe love was just inconsistent enough that you never quite knew when it would disappear. Whatever the source, your brain made a decision. I will pay close attention. I will watch every signal. I will never be caught off guard again. And for years, maybe decades, that hypervigilance kept you emotionally safe. It was a brilliant strategy. It just has one very costly side effect. It makes you read danger into silence that was never meant to harm you. I want to give you a few examples because this shows up differently for different people. For some of you, it's romantic relationships. Your partner is having a quiet evening tired from work, maybe just lost in their phone. And within 20 minutes, you've constructed an entire narrative about what you must have done wrong. You start being extra gentle, extra attentive, trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. And when they finally say, I'm fine, just tired, you feel relieved, but also faintly embarrassed, like you overreacted again. For others, it's friendships. A close friend takes longer than usual to respond. You start wondering if they're pulling away. You replay your last conversation. You debate whether to reach out again or wait. By the time they reply, apologizing because they were slammed at work, you've already half grieved the friendship in your head. And for some of you, it's family. A parent goes cold and quiet during a phone call, and suddenly you're 17 again, trying to figure out what you did wrong and how to make it right. The context changes. The feeling underneath is the same. I'm about to lose someone, and it's my fault. Here's the part that most people don't talk about. The part that I think is actually the most important. This response, this spiral, it isn't a flaw. It isn't weakness. It isn't proof that you're broken or damaged or too emotional for functional relationships. It's loyalty. Your nervous system is still loyal to the version of you that needed to watch for danger, that learned to read the silence as a warning sign because once upon a time, it was. You are carrying a survival strategy that worked and your body doesn't know yet that it's safe to put it down. Think about it this way. Imagine you spent years walking through a room where the floor was sometimes solid and sometimes gave way without warning. You'd learn to walk carefully, to test each step, to never quite trust the ground beneath your feet. And then you moved into a house with solid floors, brand new, timed new, beautiful, talent saves you in, but your feet would still tap the ground before trusting it. Nope. Not because you're irrational, because you learned. Your body just hasn't caught up to the new reality yet. That's you. In every silent moment, your body is still testing the floor. So, what do you actually do with this? The first step, and I want to be careful here, because this is not as simple as it sounds. The first step is learning to create a pause between the stimulus and the story. The silence is the stimulus. The story is they're angry, they're leaving. I did something wrong. I'm too much. I'm going to be abandoned. That story happens so fast, it feels like a fact. It feels like perception, not interpretation. But it's a story your nervous system has been telling for years, and stories can be updated. Not by forcing yourself to think positively, not by telling yourself to calm down, nitty, but by slowly, repeatedly collecting evidence, by noticing when the silence was just silence, by letting people explain themselves before you convict them in your own mind, by staying just a little longer in the uncertainty and discovering that you can survive it. This is not quick work. It's not a mindset shift. It's nervous system repair. And it happens in relationship with safe people, with a therapist if you have access to one, and with yourself. You spent years learning to fear silence. You're allowed to spend some time learning that it doesn't always mean what you think it means. And if this video found you at a moment when someone's silence is making you spiral, I want you to hear this. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are someone whose brain learned to protect you. And that brain can learn something new. If this resonated with you, There's a video I made called Why You Panic When Someone Actually Treats You. Well, it goes deeper into the attachment patterns underneath all of this. The link is in the description. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.